What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Larry, and this is Let's Open Some Toys, episode 30, first of 2026. I hope everyone's having a great new year so far. It only being the 3rd of January, so only 3 days in to the new year. So say hi to the chat. What is up, Mr. Ryan Clark? How's it going, my friend? Hope you're having a good new year. And actually, he's the only one in the chat right now. So glad to see him. Yeah. So it's been an interesting couple weeks since Christmas. Actually starting off with Christmas. Work's been kind of crazy. But 2 4 day weekends in a row. So this is been back to normal until I'm on vacation again in March. For me and my girlfriend's anniversary week, we always take that off. But I did pick up some stuff already this year. Now again, this is stuff that came out this past year, not a couple years prior, because one of my local GameStops, the one in my actual local mall, today was their last day open to the public and did not know they were shutting down. So I picked up something from there, and I also picked up a couple more things. But if you want to see, we'll kind of go through it. But the first thing I picked up today for the new year was a figure I've been kind of looking at and been debating about getting, and that is the Jada Toys Ultra Street Fighter 2 Ryu or Ryu. Got another person in the chat. What's going on, Aiden Vega? But I finally picked him up so I can have him fight my free new toys Green Ranger figure from the superpower beatdown thing, so I can have it. Yes, and Chaos, my girlfriend has started notes, so I keep track of what I got this year. Hopefully she remembered, even though I should be getting another figure I just ordered at the end of the year. So, but this is the first thing I picked up at our Barnes and Noble. I saw him, like I told myself, if I see him finally in stock somewhere, I'm just going to pick him up no matter what. And then I stopped by the Five Below, and thanks to Yimbo of Yimbo Reviews Everything and the Toy Daddies, my local Five Below finally had the Watch Party set, the Teeny Tinies, and the Gamer Essentials. These were the last ones they had on the shelf, so I decided to pick these up so I can get more interesting photos. What's Anna Royalist? You know what? I'm probably the worst person to ask because I'm using the mic that's on my camera. I don't have a standalone mic set up yet. I'm still trying to get my bits and pieces of this, so it's going to take me some time. I know a lot of people have their preferences, but I'm just using what's on my Logitech camera, and it seems to do well. So, but yeah, I got these today. These are all $5 a piece at my local Five Below. But the thing I picked up from the GameStop, hang on, Kaya says she wants to see Bulk and Skull playing video games. Well, I got to get like a couch setup thing and a TV thing and some kind of like little living room set. But I finally did pick up this Batman Forever McFarlane's Gold Label Alfred Pennyworth and Batmobile. I had like $25 worth credits or off or whatever for my GameStop Power Up reward. So finally decided to pull the trigger on this thing. No idea where he's going to go, but we are going to. I'm trying to keep up on the chat, which is cool. Do you think like just one mic by itself would be good? Yeah, one mic should be fine unless you're trying to do some kind of stereo left to right thing. But most people that I know of, when you're doing any kind of like to do like the mono, so I think it sounds better for the most part when you're doing stuff like this, unless you're going to have a multi-directional, like one person on the left and right type of deal. Um, but that's just my opinion. I'm probably not the best person to ask. As much as I would like to think I'm into tech, my buddy who's out in Pennsylvania, he would probably have better insight onto that. But so, oh well, thank you. I appreciate it, Anna. Or Annie? Is it Anna? Yeah, I appreciate it. I always like having new people join up and hang out. And I do this every week. If you're not familiar, my name again, of course, the channel is called Larry's Geeky World, and this is my little show that I sometimes have guests on, which I've only had it twice so far. Other times, it's most time it's just me, and it's usually me just opening stuff up. Sometimes we run longer than an hour. I try to keep it at an hour if possible. So let's get into it. Why don't we? Or shall we? We're going to go ahead and open up this, even though these were not released this year. I think he came out, what, way earlier in 2025? Because he was wave one, I believe. I'm trying to figure out the best way to open this. A lot of times I open these guys from the bottom, but I think he's fine at the top. Trying not to cut myself with my pocket knife, which needs cleaning. But yeah, every now and again, my girlfriend will join me on the stream. And of course, I had a guest like Mr. Ryan Clark, who's an awesome toy photographer. If you do not follow him, I suggest everyone follow Mr. Ryan Clark. Probably should open this from the bottom, just looking at the box. Seems to make more sense to do it that way. I've been really looking at these Data Toys Street Fighter figures. I'm not a huge, I don't want to get everything because usually if I start with one figure, I need to get the rest of them. And I'm trying to be different this year and only getting figures I know I'm going to need for projects I want to do. So, and besides just having it for my collection. So we got him. He is taped in here really good. Oh, always chaos, man. You can do it. Always positive reinforcement. Oh, so there's things taped up pretty good in here. Do love the packaging on these things. And I've actually been really tempted about getting the Chun-Li too, not only because I do have the Power Ranger versions that they did a while back for the Lightning Collection. But I don't know. If that's the case, I also have to get Cammy and Ken, since I do have those, just so I can have a technically unmorphed version. And I kind of also want to see if I can't fit. I actually don't have to figure out right now, but I want to kind of see if I can't fit one of these Ryu heads on that Ranger body at some point. Yeah, see, I was torn because I didn't know if I wanted to get this version, if I wanted to get the Storm Marina version. Ooh, I'm already feeling that back of that tunic here, or the gi. Really nice. That really soft textured rubber. So I was really kind of debating, but I think I wanted, because I think the Storm Marina has the white headband, right? It doesn't have the red headband. I would really need the one with the red headband. Only because that was the version of Ryu that was fighting JDF or Tommy in the Superpower Beatdown episode. If you haven't checked that out, I don't know, you all need to go to Bat in the Sun and check out that Superpower Beatdown from a few years ago. It's one. Well, I mean, they always did some really cool stuff. Their fight choreography, and those are really awesome. They're bringing it back, but they're doing it via Kickstarter now. I think they used to be paid by like Machinima back in the day, so they don't have that extra little funding that they used to have, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I am not privy to the information of, Hollywoodish or whatever kind of deals like that. He was in there pretty good too. Ooh. Yeah. Oh, I didn't notice he had like some kind of scuffy dirt marks on the pants. So that's interesting, and on the gi a little bit. So yeah, he's got some kind of like shadow shading a little bit in certain spots on the pants. Didn't really notice that. A little bit on the gi, not as much as what's on like bigger splotches on that. But wow, finally getting to have this guy in hand. I've been really, like I said, I've been really tempted because I have a tendency when I start buying figures, I start wanting to get the whole line, and I need to stop doing that because I want one space. I don't have a lot of space. Like a lot of toy collectors, you kind of start running out of room. Oh wow, he moves really good. That Fei Long looked really cool too. Because I always thought Fei Long was a neat kind of Bruce Lee-esque kind of style fighter. So yeah. But yeah, he's got all the traditional kind of articulation. He does have like a slight butterfly kind of joint going on. You can get some inward, which is great for the Hadoukets. Got your bicep swivel. You got your double jointed elbows, which you can probably find really better reviews for this guy on other channels. But I really love the paint's really clean. The paint it really is clean. With just the detail right there on the gi on the belt. Look at that. That's so nice. I just loved all the wash, the shading, and the muscles. They give the definition. I'm really afraid to really mess with it too much because he was sitting in the trunk for a little while because we were kind of going around a little earlier in the day. He was like the first thing we picked up, so he's been in the trunk for a minute. But yeah, I don't know. That's kind of odd. Do you have Fei Long? If not, I recommend getting the con version with the extra parts. No, I don't. What extra parts did the con version have? Because I don't have. This is the very first Jada Street Fighter figure I've picked up so far. Like I said, I've been eyeballing them, kind of been on the fence for quite a while. I love how much head movement he has. That double jointed, that double neck. I think is it double ball? Yes, double ball, double barbell. That's nice. No, I don't. Like I said, this is the first one, but I've been eyeballing that Fei Long too and that Chung Li. Really, more probably gonna get the Chung Li though. For sure, and the Cammy and the Ken, just because those are the Power Ranger versions I have, because that's the one they did. I did get the entire one because for Lightning Collection, I was for the most part a completionist. There are very few I don't have because I think there were some con ones I wasn't able to secure. But yeah, he's really cool. Just the figure alone. This is what you get directly out of the box. He has his fist on. As soon as I figure out how to get his posing, I'll have him pose up fighting him at some point. He has purple pants and an extra head, extra hand, and nunchucks. Well, yeah, he needs the nunchucks. And even I don't. I got two. Can't see them up here. I got the first wave of the Bruce Lee Ultimates, and I think both of them came with nunchucks, plus all the parts from the regular release. So that's cool. You said there was a con exclusive. Am I able to find that anywhere? Like, it's like on Big Bad, I guess, probably. I know they get a lot of those con exclusives after a while. Because I say I found this at my Barnes and Noble. He was $30. He wasn't on sale or anything. But so this is the initial figure, and what did I do with the parts tray? There we are. He does come with a few parts. He has one extra grunting teeth head. Get my beautiful face out of the focus. There it is. Look at that. Look at those eyebrows. Insane. That expression. Love that. He does come with another pair of hands for his Hadouken. If I can get them out of the package, they're kind of covered in tape at the moment. So you got your left and right Hadouken hands. I covered my face. I can never get my hands in the right spot to cover my face. There we go. So you got the Hadouken hands. Hadouken. All right, and let's see if I can't get his ball out of here. He has. Oh, that is cool. It even has like the fist, like the Hadouken hands, like inside, like as a shadow. That is neat. I didn't know that. I don't think I've seen anyone mention that on like any other review. Okay, Chaos says it's for the Fei Long is $100 on BBTS. Thank you for checking that out for me, hon. That is cool. Let's see this, but where is okay? So there's the hole there. I think. Can you see it? I think you can see it there. Yeah, there it is. You can kind of see the hexagon hole there for the little acrylic stand arm piece for the energy ball. You plug that into one end, you plug it in the other. I believe, if I can make sure I find it. And there you go. You can just have him displayed out where he can shoot off the fireball. I just love seeing it. I did not realize that was in there. Like I said, I don't remember anyone mentioning that in any review that those hands, the Hadouken hands, are in the fireball itself. That is so neat. That's great attention to detail. But I love this. See, I never adjust these either. I don't think this one can be adjusted because it doesn't have a screw, but it has a nice little ratchet to it. Some of these arms actually have like little screws and bolts and nuts or whatnot. But yeah, so there's that. One thing I'll have to figure out is get me some nice software so I can actually learn how to erase the stands from my photos when I start actually trying to use these. Because go into Photoshop because I don't have Photoshop. I've never used Photoshop in my life. So that's the first figure, Mr. Ryu or Ryu. And for some odd reason, I keep wanting to say Hayabusa because that's another figure I would love to get is a Ryu Hayabusa from Ninja Gaiden or Gaiden, however you want to pronounce that, because that's one of my favorite game series of all time. Even though I'm not that far into 4 and I'm not really liking 4 right now. But that and Shinobi, those two top ninja games from like the 90s. All right, so I don't really want to open up these, just showing off that I got these right now because I don't have any plans for these right now. I think I'm going to keep them in the box in the tray. But, Mr. Ryan Clark can attest to having these food props are some of the best things you can get for your photos if you're doing like a party scene and stuff. And if you haven't checked out my Instagram, I did have a holiday set that I was using for the Christmas at Cat's Lair thing. And so that one turned out really good. I think a lot of people enjoyed that photo. I use the remove with AI tool to remove light stands in my photo editor. Polish. Is that what the editor is called? Polish? Is that you can just download that on your phone? Is that a free app or do you have to pay for it? Because I'm still trying to learn all this stuff. I'm just doing a little bit by little bit at a time. So, but I kind of have an idea for this. I know I have some ideas. And like Chris says, she wants to see Bulk and Skull playing video games, but I think it only came with one controller, so I have to find me a second set because they only had this one set. So having Bulk and Skull playing video games together doesn't seem like it's going to be a possibility. Trish says she can show me. But yeah, so I have to find me like another controller or have to have one made or something. It's free with ads or you can pay for it. Pinsart is also a decent free editor. Okay, I'll have to check those out. I'd like to do a lot of this stuff directly on my phone because like I said, I have the free version of Lightroom, but you can do only so much with that. That was recommended by Toy Father during one of the early live streams he did one morning. I think it was a Sunday morning. But yeah, so we're not going to open up the teeny tinies, but we are going to go ahead and crack open this big boy. Now, I know a lot of people don't like Batman Forever. I actually love Batman. It's not my favorite Batman movie, but I mean, as much as I really love the Michael Keaton Batmobile, this I thought was a really kind of decent upgrade. Kind of still had similar elements to it, and I know a lot of people don't like the neon and stuff, but I thought it worked really well for what they were the newer version of that Batman they were gonna kind of convey. It's still better than the Batman and Robin Batmobile, which was a one seater. Even though I still wish they would make these, if I want to make these two seaters like they're supposed to be. So unfortunately, he does not. So I know this is a one seater, but the main reason was I really wanted this Alfred because I did pass on the Mattel Ultimate Alfred from their multiverse line they had back in the day because I only saw him once, and he had two of this head. Didn't have the '60s Alfred head for some odd reason. He just had two of these, and that pissed me off so much. Like, I put him back on the peg at the Walmart. Somebody eventually picked him up, I think. What did I do in my pocket? There it is. Oh no! Dropping reused fireball. We'll get that put up somewhere. Oh, what we got? Yes, it was. Batman Robin Batmobile was a big happening. And I actually had the Kenner release of this Batmobile back in the day that lit up, and I loved it. I love that Batmobile toy so much. So, and this is what takes AAA. I think I had AAA somewhere. I know I just bought a bunch of double A's for the Christmas lights I was using. But I think I have some AAA somewhere still. If not, that'd be more. There's that frame piece. What do we have here? Another piece of cardboard. Oh, here's this. Oh, this is actually a lot nicer than I thought it was going to be, just in the plastic. Of course, it doesn't have its big wings on. I guess all the parts in Alfred are in this little box piece. It better be. Don't see anything else in the box. So let's find out. The Penguin Duck movie. I get it. If I could have found me a Val Kilmer Batman figure while I was out there, I passed on all these figures all the time, and I probably shouldn't have. So, all right. So this box had the Alfred figure. So here's his little stand. Here's a little Batmobile card with the Alfred Pennyworth. But I think he should have had a separate card, not just one with the Batmobile on it. My own personal opinion. Of course, he's in this little baggie here. Go ahead and take a look at the Alfred figure before we really get into the car and assembling the parts on that, which are actually taped to the bottom of the car. It does take me back, though, to that Kenner one, because it lit up, too. I think this one says it's supposed to have sound effects. And again, I have to look. Oh, yes. And he has toe articulation. I don't know why I wasn't expecting toe articulation on Alfred. But this is now my second Alfred figure. But I did get the 60s, or the Batman 66 Alfred from that retro line. Just so I could have that in my other shelf. I don't have a designated Burton versus Schumacher versus shelf because I don't have any 1/12 scale other Batman figures, really. Not movie ones, anyway. Because the only Batman figures I have currently is I have a Mattel Multiverse Superpowers Batman that I got in for trade with a friend. And I have the 66 Batman figures from Mattel. Did not get that Batmobile, though. I have the one with the Bruce Wayne head. I have the little Wayne Manor pieces. And eventually, I am still working on getting that video up of the tour of my collection that's currently on display. It's all over the house. Like, this is just the bedroom. Okay? And this isn't like half. What you see behind me is not even half of me and my girlfriend's stuff. You all will be like, how in the hell But yeah, so this is Alfred. I wish his skin tone wasn't as kind of gray. Maybe it's just the lighting in the room. But all in all, I think it's a decent looking figure. I don't know what else they've used this body for. The arms kind of have a little bit of an up and down to it on the shoulders. Just go up pretty good for the most part. Got your biceps well. We got your double jointed elbows. You got your wrist swivel. Actually, it's like more like at the cuff, so that's nice. This yeah, because that's normal inside out hinge. So I wish I would have picked up the other one because at least it has some other accessories. I'm still debating about picking up that McFarlane release of the animated series Batcave. I think it's still up. I think it was done that way because of the tone of the movie. Okay. Yeah, the whole design of the art of Gotham in Batman and Forever was a lot more neon, a lot more pop. Schumacher was definitely trying to go back more to the campy aspect of Batman that was kind of brought to light in the original '60s series. Now I don't remember if he actually even said that, but he was trying to make it more fun. Now obviously Warner Brothers putting their 2 cents on everything like they always do could have made Batman and Robin a lot worse than it could have been. Now it's fun in its own aspect, and I don't want to. I will never say. I mean, he's not. George Clooney was never the best Batman, but he wasn't terrible, right? It just there was no real difference between his Batman and his Bruce Wayne, and I thought he made an excellent Bruce Wayne. You know, very charismatic, but you also didn't seem to see. I don't know. I just found it harder to believe that Clooney, I don't think he really had. I don't know. He didn't really display that he was like tortured or tormented when he was Batman. You know, but I think that's just because that's how Clooney kind of carries himself in general. So I don't think it's really his fault. I don't think. I just think it's poor direction, and not to give Schumacher any hate or not, because I think he was a fantastic director. He's done some really great movies before his passing. Um, But I think it's also mostly the studio's fault. Now, and I hate to be one of those people that blame the studio for everything when things go bad, but it always seems to be that way, right? But enough of that movie, because this is not what this Batmobile is from. Go ahead and take this strap off of here so we can assemble. And again, there's no real instructions, but on the back here, on the bottom of the box, actually, I guess more back of the box, but upside down, technically. Shows you how the canopy opens and where the button is for the sound effects and the lights. So it's very interesting. I don't know if we'll get to test out the sound effects tonight because like I said, I don't know if I have any AAA batteries. I think I do. But thinking I do and actually having it are two totally different things. So I hope I'm entertaining people. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm more entertaining to myself than I am to others. But that's just me. Maybe I'm just overcritical. Anyhow, hopefully you're all still here and I'm not bored you all away as I struggle, I guess, to try to get this thing open and released from its cardboard prison.
How many?
Huh?
How many AAAs?
3.
I got 4. Hopefully these are the good ones.
All right. Well, my girlfriend has brought me some AAAs, so hopefully they're good ones. We'll find out. I don't see any corrosion on them, so it's not. But here we got the fins for the Batmobile that came out of a cardboard tray here. And let's get this boy out of the bag here. Again, I'm still looking for the 2-seater, but yeah. Oh, I'm just gonna say it. I love this design. I still wish I mean, it brings me back to the Kenner toys because it is a one-seater. But the fact that we actually have a canopy that actually lowers, like actually like it's supposed to. And I know they did that with the 89 Batmobile version that they first came out with. Okay, so put those both down. That's supposed to release that. Let's see if we can't get a look at the cockpit get a nice little look at the decals in the cockpit there of the Batmobile, which is really nicely detailed. You got the Bat logo on the steering wheel. The nice little console stickers and screen. Really cool. I love the fact that I don't have to put any stickers onto this thing. And hopefully these wings should be self-explanatory. Or fins, or however you want to call these. But unlike the old Kenner one, this is only one single wing on the back, in the center. Which, if you remember in the movie, it did actually have two, and they opened and you could close open and shut because when Robin was doing his little joyride, or Dick Grayson, Richard Grayson, however you want to say his name, he was hopping around the Batmobile looking for a good time, I guess, or whatever you want to say he was doing. This thing was like open, kind of flapping back and forth, left and with two different wings. So that is a missed opportunity. I think it could have been a nice little feature, but I think that would also have been an extra cost. That plugs in really nice. And also in the Kenner version, these also lifted up the rear wheel guns, which never happened in the movie. So go ahead and pop these off. Are these marked? They are not. These are just exactly identical. Normally these things are marked which one's left and which one's right, but this does not seem to be the case. So it does not apparently matter. And they just clip in. Of course, I'm doing this off camera because I don't have a lot of room. Let's get that canopy locked into place. And there we have the fully assembled Batman Forever Batmobile. Again, one of my top Batmobile designs. I know they said it was kind of based off of a. Oh, I love that the hub doesn't move. Thank you for that. That is so cool. You know what? I gotta get my screwdriver out. Luckily, my tool bag is right here. Do I have a screwdriver? Yes. Is it the right screwdriver? We'll find out in a minute. I think that might be the wrong size screwdriver. There we go. So we'll get to the battery compartment on the back or the bottom. Ryan Clark says, dope. I know this thing is so cool. If you're a Batman fan, I mean, I think there's some love that can be had for every Batman movie in some fashion. I know people give Batman and Robin a lot of shit because of Arnold Schwarzenegger's Mr. Freeze. But to be honest, the fact that they were able to kind of make him somewhat sympathetic, not as sympathetic as say the animated series, which I believe did the best. Of course, they're the ones who actually came up with that backstory to begin with, really making Mr. Freeze more of a tragic character than what he was initially. Because initially, Mr. Freeze was just a criminal, with a cold gun. I don't know if y'all can hear that. Oh, the speakers on the engine. Okay. So that one would just. All right. So the one on the right side of the canopy opens the canopy. The button on the left turns on the lights and sound. You hit it again, it just keeps the light on with no sound effects. Yeah, I agree. There are so many, and again, I want to say because Warner Bros. Wanted it to be a big toy commercial, and that was actually evident. Even Chris O'Donnell said it in one of those interviews. It's just they always came up with a new toy design. We need to put this in the movie. because it was all about selling toys at that point. And that's all it was. That's all they cared about was making that extra profit. They weren't worried about making a profit in the box office. They were making it. They were more worried about it on the other end. Now a lot of people are complaining like, "Oh, it's going to be not blue or too green." You know what? I don't. It's not as green as what the box was showing. I don't think. I think it's actually very, for the most part, very accurate to what was in the film. It's very blue. I love this. I love that the wheels light up. It didn't stay on for long, thankfully, but I do love that, and I love that you had to get a replacement for this canopy, like the '89 one. I know a lot of people were getting replacement parts or a full replacement from a third party maker to make the canopy at 1A look better and look more like it should, even though it was designed for a one seater as opposed to the two seater it was initially supposed to be. But I just love that. I just beat myself. I don't have a Val Kilmer Batman, a Batman Forever Batman to put in it. I don't have any movie Batman currently. Like, all I have is this. I have the Batman 1,000,000 figure. I have the Superpowers or Super Friends Batman figure, and I got because I saw those '66 Batman figure from Mattel too, from their little retro or not. I guess it wasn't a retro line. I'm still kicking myself for not getting that Batmobile. If I find that '66 McFarlane Batmobile, the actual multiverse one, I might pick that up. Just because I don't know, it's not going to fit on my '66 display, but this is so cool. And now I'm kind of kicking myself for not getting the '89 release that came out during the Flash movie. Cool. I just love that. I just love that it slides. It's like the one thing I've always wanted out of every one of these Tim Burton Schumacher Batmobile releases and the animated series one. When I got that DC Direct one years ago, back in 2020 at LexCon, it was like the first Batmobile I ever had that sliding forward canopy. It doesn't lock into place like this does. This has a really satisfying kind of clip to it. I just love that. I do still wish this was two pieces and had a hinge and you could open it like in the movie. But besides that, this is so cool. I don't know. I mean, I don't know why I really waited so long to get it, and we didn't actually even look at the undercarriage, which kind of plain. You got the Bat logo on it. Mr. Ryan Clark says he saw the '66 Multiverse Battle yesterday at a toy store. Well, I am planning on stopping by at some point. Probably gonna be next weekend. I'm gonna try to go down to the toy department in Fairfield, Ohio. I keep hearing great things about this toy store from other local people. One of my coworkers at work even mentioned it, and I actually do follow them on Instagram. I've just never been to their shop, and it's probably one of the closest kind of, I would say, high profile independent toy stores out there, but I guess in the people that are kind of nearby, because I know one of the Legion's ladies kind of lives in the Cincinnati, Ohio Valley area somewhere, I believe, because I know she had mentioned the toy department as well, but I've never been there. And I hear they have a lot of stuff. They have a lot of Mythic Legions, and Cosmic Legions and stuff. So it's because I don't have a lot of toy stores here that I've seen. I haven't been to some of them in a while, but a lot of the ones I do go to don't have any of these, what we like to call mid majors in the toy industry. So that's cool. So debating it. I am glad I finally picked it up. Like I said, I saved like $25 on this. And like I said, that GameStop in the mall, today was their last day being open, which that means their store hours are now done for the day. They have to get everything out of the store. Luckily, there are still 3 other ones in my area that still are open. Now, I do kind of wish these also lit up, the actual normal headlights. It is a little disappointing that they do not. It's just the blue light. which I think the light's mostly white. I just think the blue is just coming from this, and the most green part is in that center area because it's like a bit darker. And I think that's only because where the lights are. There's a light bulb seem to be near the front, and then one a bit further in the back around here. That's why those are the brightest. Plus, you got the lights, individual lights look like in the hubcaps, in the wheels. So there's those two. Which is something I also didn't really notice at first, like how thick that wall is. I love the tire treads too. Those are cool. I just wish I would have picked this up now sooner. But if I did, I probably wouldn't have had the power up reward points to use for the coupons. But it sits really, the canopy does sit mostly flush on here. Just kind of stick up a little bit on this side, just a little bit. But it's so nice. It's so cool. So yeah. So yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Of course, I am sure Alfred will fit in it. I don't know if I'll pick up the Tumbler, even though I do like the Batman Begins movies, the Dark Knight trilogy. Even though my favorite suit is still the Batman Begins suit for that whole series. Nothing against the redesign. I know it's more for function, but that whole Panther cow, how it was fed around his, I thought that looked so much better than when they had to break it all up. So I don't. They did release that figure, right? From Batman Begins. Did McFarlane do one on that? I don't remember. I don't follow McFarlane as much as I should. But for all their DC stuff, I try to. I just can't keep up with everything. It's just so much stuff. Like I said, Alfred, all he comes with those. He comes with the stand. He comes with the card. No tray, no tea, no cold soup. Even though that was Batman Returns. Fishy, I don't remember what it was called. Fishy something. It's supposed to be cold. And I just watched that movie like a few days ago. But yeah, it's a really nice Alfred Goff, likeness. It's just nice to have another Alfred figure to be in my display. This actually makes the third Alfred. I have to keep reminding myself I do have another Alfred, but he was from the Batman versus the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles figures that Mattel, was it Mattel? No, ZC Direct, I think, in conjunction with Nickelodeon for that animated movie. I have all those sets. I'm only missing that Michelangelo with that Batman mask, which I saw one time at one of my GameStops and never picked it up. And I'm still kicking myself for never getting it, just like that Mattel Multiverse Penguin from Batman Returns. Because I thought he looked really good too, and never picked him up. And I've not seen the Batman Returns figures in store at all since those were released. And those things sold out quick because I know everyone wanted that Max Shrek. Because you get a William Dafoe kind of looking like, not William Dafoe. You get a Jesus, how did I just lose his name? Why is it? I can't. I know the actor's name. Now I'm gonna kick myself. I don't know why I confused him with Willem Dafoe. He's not Willem Dafoe. Yes, Christopher Walken. Why am I going mad today? Oh my God, I'm losing my mind. Thank you, Mr. Ryan Clark. Yes, it was Christopher Walken. Again, I just watched this movie like last week because it's a Christmas movie. I thought I want to start a whole debate again. But yeah, you get a Christopher Walken action figure out there, it's gonna sell. And the fact that they made it a red platinum, I don't know what McFarlane's thinking. Stop making things these weird phrases. Because one, they're not as scarce. Some of them are not as scarce. Like I saw tons of Mr. Terrifics, and he was a red platinum from the Superman film. And and the gold label superpowers, Fortress of Solitude. That's because it came with a number 4 robot. I mean, it was a game. I think it was just a McFarlane store exclusive too, which is stupid. And I think they still have that in stock too, but I haven't looked in a while. Well, just like Gremlins, yeah. And first Gremlins took place during exactly on Christmas, and the second one was like during the whole Christmas, and the other one was more New Year's. So different year, obviously. Few years, I believe. I'm not sure how many years were supposed to be apart in those. I haven't watched the second one in so long. Soda's already giving me gas in my lungs there. Okay. Well, has anyone got anything they want to talk about? What they liked? What they say what you got already? If you got anything new this year already after only 3 days? If you picked up anything, received anything? Here, I'm not gonna open this, but I am gonna kind of show on the back exactly what's in here. I just think it's cool they have a cooler, a helmet of chips, and a giant pot of chili. This is just so cool. Well, and I just made buffalo chicken dip for the first time for work for a holiday potluck thing. Turned out really good. I did forget the green onions. I bought green onions for it and never used it. Yeah. So did anyone else get anything so far this year? I know it's only 3 days in. I wasn't really expecting to pick up anything, but I saw him. Like I said, I saw him at my Barnes and Noble, and was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and pick him up. They had a couple camis, a few guiles. I think only one Fei Long, and I don't remember if I saw a Chung Li there. I know I saw a couple Chung Li's at the GameStop, but those are going to be for another day. Oh, come on now. Mr. Ryan Clark says he is getting a package on Monday, mostly Marvel Legends. That's cool. I can't wait to see what those are going to be. I've only ordered one other thing. It hasn't shipped yet, but it's from Four Horsemen. It's the Figure Obscura Ghost of Christmas Past. I went ahead because that was the only holiday one currently that I don't have besides obviously Krampus or the other variants. But this is also the regular version of the Ghost of Christmas Past, not the retailer, kind of haunted and blue like my Jacob Marley. I got the name right this time. Yeah. I'll get them posed up eventually. I'll figure it out how to get them to really work. I want to kind of heat them up a little bit to get some of these joints to work a little bit better. As far as I know, but I did get one other figure in before the end of the year, but I went ahead and opened him up because it wasn't, because it came in like I think that Monday because I had made a order off of Plunderling's website, and I gotten all the birds before. We did that unboxing with those somewhat. Not really unboxed, but we kind of talked about them. But I did get my Plunder Strong in, which he didn't ship with them for whatever reason. But I got Captain Blackjack, and I finally was able to mess with him a little bit yesterday. But he's in the living room right now. I like that figure a lot too. He's just a little bit of a pain getting that cannon to pose. And I don't have a Plunderling for those little hands. I'm not sure how that's going to work. I know you can somehow put them like they're shooting out of the cannon somehow. So eventually I'll get that all figured out. But I can't wait to really mess with this guy. And of course, as my girlfriend watches on the stream, she brings me Captain Blackjack. This is pretty much exactly how he's posed on the back of the box. The Plunder Strong. I just am really impressed with the Plunderling line, the whole Plunder Strong. The Plunder Beaks were really, really cool. But this guy's really neat. Yeah, actually wasn't too bad. I mean, the one thing I have noticed that with the Plunderlings and the Plunder Strong and the Plunder Beaks is that their leg joints are actually really, their hips are really kind of loose, right? They move really, really well, and they actually, they don't fall easy. They actually do stand without actually kind of moving, unless you put, I guess, at a weird angle. But they just move really, really smoothly around those hip joints and kind of do stick in place where you need them to. But he's a really cool figure. I'm glad I picked him up. I don't think I'm going to get too many more of the Plunderlings. I know we're going to get a couple of the frogs. I can't guarantee we're going to get all of them when they come out. But those are really cool. Yeah, and she says she loves the Plunderlings. But before that, she says I'm a team player. This is why I love my girlfriend so much. She's always willing to help me out with these things. But anyway, we are about a little over 51 minutes in. So I am going to, I guess we'll just make it an early stream. As much as I would like to make it last a full solid hour, I think we're just going to go ahead and call it a night. So I want to thank everyone for joining me tonight as we open some toys. Next week, not sure what we're going to open. As you can see, I still have all my girlfriend's Godzilla Ultimates behind me. She keeps telling me she wants me to start opening those, even though those are going to go right back in the boxes. Because we have no place to display them at the moment. But we may get finally into those at some point. But again, I'd like to thank everyone for joining me tonight. Yeah, you have a good night too, man. Okay, I was like, Godzilla! But thank you, man. You have a good night too. And I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their weekend. And I will see you all next Saturday night at 8 Eastern Standard Time p.m. Maybe we should have went to the PM first. Anyway, good night, everybody. Have a great rest of your weekend, and hope everyone's having a fantastic New Year so far. Peace out, everyone.